This book, the scanned copy of this book is an old one. This copies has been sent through your Nitrice as well as in your WhatsApp group. Okay, you can download those and you can follow if there is a internet connectivity. So are we good to start?
Sir, now it's time.
Yes, sir.
So today we are starting a new chapter, a new module maybe. It's a very short, very precise, but too much out of the box, because I guess none of you, until we discussed in some of the classes, previous classes, that what our syllabus is going to be, had an idea that what this is all about. So the chapter right now in your current syllabus is known as arbitration and conciliation. Okay, we'll shift it on the left hand side. You will be able to see the name. So this first came into act. This act was first passed in the name of only the Arbitration Act back in 1940. Okay, 1940, even before independence. And I chose this particular book beyond all other books because since it is a very old book, it is an Indian book, and the language is very easy to understand, much easier than how even I would prefer to speak. So it would be easier for you to understand. What you can just do is, in the Nitrice, you will see that I have shared this with the important points that you have to read. So those particular sections gives a definite descriptions about arbitration, and then I have given one more handout which is arbitration and conciliation. So if you don't like to go through the total act, then you can just get the précis of what an arbitration is, what a conciliation is, and how one differs from the other. Okay, so let me start first that in general this can happen not only in building construction, not only for architects, but can happen in any field. Particularly it is observed in this construction, building construction fields, where this kind of situation might arise, where there is a dispute and the dispute needs to be settled. That means it has to be solved. So arbitration is defined as the settlement of a dispute by the decision not of a regular and ordinary court of law. So other than any regular court of law or ordinary court of law means where legal decisions take place, any court where legal decisions takes place. Other than that, any kind of dispute settlement, the process is known as arbitration. The process, okay, process of dispute resolution. So this can be solved by one or more persons chosen by the parties themselves, who are called arbitrator. Okay. Now I will try to clarify the probable confusions that one might have. So here we are trying to solve a settlement, or we are trying to solve a dispute. We are trying to resolve, but how are we trying? Suppose I am having a dispute as a professor. I am having a dispute with on a decision, and you all together, all the individual students or all of you together are on the other side of the dispute. So it is a dispute between you all and myself where it needs to be solved. So what I do is I take the help of a third party. But this third party or maybe parties has to be chosen by all of us, like both of us. So I myself alone form a team, you all together form a team. So both of us have to decide or select or choose another party to solve our dispute. Now that party or parties has to be chosen by us. So that particular person is known as an arbitrator. Now, for example, say the dispute is relating to something that you are facing problem with having online classes, and just like today we have got a notice that we have to start taking exams as frequently as possible, which beyond your TA. I don't know whether you have been informed in your building material classes or not. You have just received a mail from your Dean Academics that we have to conduct regular exams. okay, which is not an alternative to your TA component. TA component will be there. Other than that, maybe which will be cited as an alternative of your mid semester, there will be continuous exams till November end. Anyways, so while doing that, you all are facing certain sort of problem. So one fine day you are out and there is a issue, you were not able to connect and you could not attend the class. So what we do is, I have given you 0 for that because I didn't find you, I was not informed. So there has been a dispute which you wanted to convey but it was not conveyed, or you conveyed to me but I was not happy with the with the issue that you have come up with. So what we decide is, okay, let's fix up another person who can give the verdict or who can judge, who will act as a judge. So that particular person will be an arbitrator. Now, can anybody tell me who, in the example that I have given, who can be a probable arbitrator?
Story or pattern.
Whoever is speaking, can you please guard your microphone while you are speaking and speak slowly?
So maybe HOD or pattern.
Let's take one. Okay, let's say HOD, right? Now, it happens that the HOD is not your faculty advisor, first thing. Secondly, the HOD is not connected with you, but is there in the department with me. So what I do is, I give an information to support my side to the HOD, and definitely the verdict that he or she would be giving, there is a high possibility that it will go on my behalf rather than on your behalf. Similarly, suppose all of you talk with the Dean Students Welfare or Dean Academic, or you talk with your says there are a lot of student bodies, the general secretary of the body, to act to solve this problem, to take up your issue in the decision resolution process. So there I don't have faith in him because I know that he is going, whatever happens, whether you are wrong or right, that particular fellow is going to take your side, right? So what may happen is, there can be more than one person or a team chosen by individual teams at dispute. It might also happen that there is a dispute not between two parties but more than two parties. Three parties or four parties are having a dispute among themselves. So all of the party choose their own representative to judge. So all those representatives will act as an arbitrator. Commonly they are known as a joint arbitrator. Okay. So if there is only one arbitrator whom unanimously both the parties or everybody who is at a dispute chooses, then he is an arbitrator. And if individual parties chooses individual arbitrator, then it is generally known as a joint arbitrator. Okay. We'll come to the definition of arbitrator later, but let's complete this definition. Thus, arbitration is a domestic court where the arbitrator acts as a judge. The essence of arbitration is that the arbitrator decides the case and his award is in nature of judgment, which is later on incorporated into the decree, DECRW, decree of the court or domain of the court. The arbitrator can either proceed on the basis of his knowledge or make inquiries and take evidence and then give his decision on such evidence. Now, for example, the same name that you took is say HOD. So you all have a faith in HOD. I also have a faith in HOD. So the HOD comes up. We choose the HOD, and HOD comes, and then from his or her own knowledge, he will try to solve the problem. Now, if he is not very clear about the problem, then he will have separate sets of inquiry, take up necessary evidence to support those inquiries, and then only give the decision. Now, this decision, since it is not a court case, this decision is generally known as an award. AWARD, award. It is not a physical trophy kind of thing, but this is commonly known as an award. Remember these terminologies. These are very unique to this particular chapter. Okay. So this is about arbitration, but with the arbitration, we have also defined arbitrator. So let's find out who an arbitrator is. 21-3. Arbitrator is a person chosen by the parties themselves to whom the disputes and differences are referred to. He is supposed to act as judge and give his judgment judiciously or judicially. That means if suppose the judgment has been given, that means an award was declared by the arbitrator. Now that particular award can be taken as a proper document when you want to take the case further to any legal court. That is accepted. For example, say a long court dispute is pending, but there is a small short things within that total case which needs to be solved earlier. If that is solved, lot of things becomes easier for you. So what do you do is you take that small issue out, solve it through arbitration, and then whatever verdict was given or whatever award was given, you incorporate that into the legal court case. So in that way, you can have a arbitrator to assist a court case. That we also have later. But let's find out who all can be an arbitrator. So the second line in that paragraph says, he finds out whether either of the parties has incurred any financial loss on which the dispute stands for no fault on his part. It means whether any of those party because of this dispute is facing any loss or not, particularly financial or economic loss. When both the parties are agreed upon a person to act as judge and appoint him, there are some small mistake, appoint him, comma, then he is known as a sole arbitrator. So if there is only one arbitrator who is jointly agreed upon by both the parties or all the parties, then that arbitrator is known as a sole arbitrator. But when they are not agreed upon by a person, each party appoints their own arbitrator. So what I do is I appoint HOD as the arbitrator, you will appoint your general secretary or your class representative as your arbitrator, or a senior student whom you have faith into stand as your arbitrator. Now both the arbitrators will listen to both of us, both to me, both to you all, and then they will have a discussion and then give a award, common award. It may be a common award. So in that particular case, when two or more persons are approached and they are agreed upon to give the verdict, they are known as joint arbitrator. Now for joint arbitrator, an umpire is selected with the consent of both the parties. Okay, so here comes the issue, because some of you say that it can be HOD or any other similar person. So I say that, okay, I have faith in HOD, you all don't have. I don't have faith on the senior whom you all have chosen, but you all have faith in him. So it might happen that whenever this HOD is discussing with that senior student over the issue which I am facing with you all, there is something, an award is ready, but I am not happy to accept it, or you are not happy to accept it. That may happen. Or it might happen that, okay, at the end, that senior student, that 5th year student is also a student of the HOD. So he or she might not have any strong say on your behalf. So what is done is another person is approved by all of us who is known as an umpire. Okay. I hope all of you know the difference between an umpire and a referee. Who all are the non-sportsmen who don't know the difference between an umpire and referee? कौन है? Anybody who doesn't understand the difference between umpire and referee? Okay, I guess everybody knows. I am sure all of you are discussing among yourself कि सच में difference मालूम नहीं है. But once you Don't know the difference, please come up, because here we are referring to an umpire. Okay, there are a lot of sports where there is umpire along with referee, and there are a few sports where there are only referee. So here the umpire listens to both the arbitrators and then give his verdict. So ultimately it has to be one person who gives a verdict. If it is a sole arbitrator, then he or she gives the verdict. If there are joint arbitrator, they unanimously give a verdict, or they appoint, or we appoint an umpire to listen to the arbitrator, the joint arbitrators, and then give the verdict. So this is about arbitrators. Okay. The next section that is important is, okay, just for your reference, the subsection 4 talks about this is an act to consolidate and amend the laws relating to arbitration. So across several countries, there were several laws. So a consolidated list of the laws was made and passed or promulgated in 1940. That was known as the Arbitration Act 1940. Now this name, in professional practice, there are a lot of names of these acts. This act comes with a date or year. So once it was passed, it is generally passed in an official gazette. Okay, so it was first published in an official gazette in 1940, definitely through parliament and all. Later in 2000, sorry, in 1996, it was renamed as the Arbitration and the Conciliation Act 1996. Okay, so I guess no, I haven't shared the 1996 Act, but I have shared you the Arbitration and Conciliation Amended Act 2015. Amendment means some additional has been done to the 1996 Act. So just to give you an understand that how an official gazette looks like, I have shared in the WhatsApp group the copy of the Act, which is the latest one. Okay. Now we will quickly browse through certain sections of this particular chapter. First is powers of arbitrator. Now this power of arbitrator, whatever power or the arbitrator has or what his or her job is, cannot be decided by the individual. It is given according to an act. Okay, for example, you all are going to be an architect. Now as an architect, according to the Architects Act 1972, what are the responsibilities of an architect are fixed. You cannot go behind that, or this author Mr. M. Chakraborty doesn't have any hand in citing the power of the arbitrator. He has just quoted from the relevant section of the particular act of 1940 whatever the powers of arbitrator are. So here things become a bit critical, that these are actually sections taken from the act. So you are supposed to, like in any formal exams, if you would have been into any state board of AICTE approved examination, then you have to quote all these statements. But for our sake, since you are lucky to be in a deemed university, you all can just express the meaning in your own term. You may opt not to quote it or cite it. Okay, so the arbitrator or the umpire shall, unless a different intention is expressed in the agreement, have power to administer oath to the parties and witnesses appearing. So बोलेगा कि आप इनके कसम खा के बोलिए कि आप जो बोलने वाले हैं सच बोलने वाले हैं. So whatever you are going to say, it is going to be true to your knowledge. So that power should be vested for that particular arbitration. Say in court mein, when there is a judge, the judge is a judge for all the cases coming to his desk. But an arbitrator is a person specific to a particular dispute only. Okay, he is not a common arbitrator. So for that arbitration or for that particular resolution of dispute, he can make the parties or the witness take an oath. Next is to state a special case for the opinion of the court or any question or law involved. Well, while giving a decision, you may also say that according to section 144 of the Indian Penal Code, we are going for the arbitration. So whatever relevant special cases or reference of any court, any law involved in a court, in part or in whole, which is relevant to this particular arbitration, he can cite those. He is given the power. When he is declared as an arbitrator, he is given that power to refer to all those cases or all those sections. Next is to make the award conditional or in alternative. So what he says is an arbitrator cannot say कि इनको 4 साल के सजा सुनाई दे रहे हैं. What he will say is, after listening to both the parties, what I feel are this point. Now it is up to the parties to agree to that or not. But he cannot give a verdict. He cannot say that one of the parties is a defaulter, so I suggest that he will pay 15,000 rupees fine. No, he is supposed to just find who a defaulter is and by what proportion or what percentage or because of which action or which subsection he is a defaulter, and he has to approve that a person who has brought in a dispute or a complaint, the grievance party, is actually at a loss or not. Okay. The fourth is to correct in any award any clerical mistake or error arising from the accidental slip or omission. When the award is being made, if there is any correction that needs to be added, he can do that correction. And the last is to administer to any party to the arbitration interrogatories as may, in the opinion of arbitrator or umpire, be necessary. I will repeat again. To administer to any party to the arbitration interrogatories, that means the people whom you are interrogating for the particular arbitration, that I am going to administer the interrogation procedure, that power is vested on the arbitrator. Okay, once he is chosen as an arbitrator, he has the power to interrogate for or to administer and interrogate. If he is an umpire, he will administer the interrogation by the arbitrators. So these powers are vested in the arbitrator. Okay. Coming to the next page. Subsection 7, 20-7. Quickly, qualifications of the arbitrator. So here, the arbitrator has to be selected specific to a particular case. For example, the example which we were discussing right now is relevant with online classes. So you said that, okay, we will take up HOD, a common arbitrator or a sole arbitrator. Now, if I say that you have a problem in your hostel, so I'm saying that in your hostel you have to be allowed to enter late, but your hostel security guards are not allowing. So then the arbitrator should be changed. HOD cannot be the arbitrator. There has to be a different arbitrator. Right? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you agree, that means that an arbitrator has to be selected who is supposed to understand the importance of the situation as well as have few basic qualifications, not academic or educational qualifications, but certain qualifications which is good enough or which is expert enough or which is knowledgeable enough to help him to solve the dispute. So the arbitrator, there are 4 criteria. The first one says the arbitrator can be a person who has expert knowledge in particular branch of profession and the matter in dispute. For example, say construction manager is a good arbitrator in case of on-site construction site disputes between the contractor and the client or contractor and the architect. So a site supervisor or a construction manager or a construction project manager may be a good arbitrator, but definitely he is not a good arbitrator if you have problem in what, in say something else. Say your examination procedure में कुछ disputes आ गया, question paper में dispute आ गया, there he cannot work as an arbitrator. Okay. Next is he must be impartial and unbiased. That is, the arbitrator shall be personally not related to any of the parties in any way, or he shall be free from ill feeling against any of the party. That means I am neither favoring one party because I like that party, neither I have any grudge against some other party. Okay, it may happen that you hire HOD. Now HOD is favoring me, so HOD cannot be an arbitrator, or HOD doesn't like all of you. He may or may not like me, but he doesn't like all of you, or she doesn't like all of you. So still she cannot be an arbitrator. Okay, so she has to be impartial and unbiased. Next is he must be unquestionable. He must have an unquestionable character, high integrity, and unshakable faith in justice. So this is up to the parties and arbitration that the जिनके बीच में ये dispute हुआ है, they have to have this faith that whomever the arbitrator is chosen as, whoever is the arbitrator is chosen as, we should have that much faith in his or her justice. Okay. The next is generally a person not below the rank of retired superintendent engineering gets selected as an arbitrator. This is a special case in construction project because this book is on estimations, costing and specification in construction projects. So this fourth criteria has been added. But something you must have noticed that here we term in the second case, in the second clause, in the third clause, that he must be impartial or he must be unquestionable character. So the question from your side should be, can a lady be an arbitrator? Do any of you have this question?
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. So why has the
Yes, sir,
author
they
written it? Okay, Amartya, why has the author written it as he must be impartial and unbiased, or why he has written that he must be have unquestionable character? Any idea? Amartya, you are saying something. Okay, if none of you are saying, let me say. So in the profession of architecture and construction management, here the post, not the individual gender of the person, but the post. When we will learn the Architects Act, the status of an architect is considered as a male. So in all the act relevant to an architect, you will always see that it refers to as he. He doesn't means the gender of the person. He means the architect, irrespective of whether he is a male or a female. So here also, as an arbitrator, the chair on which the arbitrator sits, whoever sits in that particular chair, with respect to that chair. So whenever you are having a court case, the judge may be a lady, he may be a gentleman, but we respect the chair of the judge. So here, with respect to the arbitrator, we consider him as he. Okay, there is no gender biasness, nothing. It is a common terminology which now in your professional courses you will hear a lot of time. Okay, so these are the qualifications. Next topic is different kind of arbitration. Now here I will not discuss it today. I will not discuss the different types of arbitration today, but see, these are the different kinds of arbitration according to a 1940s Act. So you can refer to several other things on and at least first read this A, B and C. Until unless you read it, it would be difficult for me to make you understand. So you read it, have your questions ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will discuss this particular section, that what are the different kinds of arbitration. There are 3 different kinds. You search it out. There are a lot of explanation. You can take help of YouTube lectures. You can take help of SlideShare lectures and all. But first read these sections. It is written in simple language. First read it and then it would be good for me to discuss. Yesterday I could not send you this handout. I'm sorry for that. Otherwise I would have instructed you to read yesterday itself. Okay. Coming to the third page, the next topic. Okay. Today we will just again briefly browse through what we have to read. So in the previous section we have read what are the different what are the possible 3 different types of arbitration. So it all deals with how much of its that particular arbitration is related with a court case. Okay. The next is procedure of settlement of dispute by arbitration. So while suppose you have signed an agreement or a contract, a legal contract. So in that particular contract, you have a provision of arbitration which we have read, that there has to be a clause of arbitration that who are going to be fixed as an arbitrator in case there is a dispute while construction has to be mentioned in the contract document itself. This means that if the provision of arbitration is already there in the contract document, then the procedure of those has to be followed. So the procedure comprises maximum of 5 stages, 5 broad stages. The first one says how the arbitrator or the arbitrators are to be appointed, or who can be appointed, and how much deadline he or she should get. That is discussed in this first paragraph. Sorry, the paragraph with subsection 1 written. Next is preparation and submission of a case for arbitration. So when an arbitration is appointed, he does a preliminary meeting, which all of us should do. We will listen to both the parties broadly and then try to find out that कौन कितना suffering, which party is suffering how much, whether it is deliberate or not, or the amount of financial loss which he claims to be suffering, whether it is legitimate or not. And then he asks for all relevant documents. He or she tries to procure all the documents and agreements and bills and the drawings relevant. Okay. For example, say there will be cases of arbitration if there is a case of extension of time and you say no extension of time because you have done a breach of contract. So definitely the contractor will take you for an arbitration. So the executive engineer might be put into that. He will listen to both the parties, collect the necessary documents, read the contract document which was signed before. So that is his end. What the arbitrator will do, he will prepare the necessary document. Then what he will do is hearing of the case. So now he will hear to both the parties if he feels like. And then upon hearing only, he will do an analysis and then issue of award. The fourth point. Issue of award means he gives his verdict. No, not verdict, like not his judgment. He gives a statement and signs that after hearing to both the parties, generally in a non-judicial stamp paper, he writes that after hearing to both the parties and the relevant document, what I feel is this much amount is the financial loss. So suppose the party claims that मेरा 3 लाख का loss हो गया. No, he will hear and say no, actually 3 लाख का नहीं है, 3 लाख तो गुस्से में मांग लिया है. Actually absolute amount of 1,70,000 is the actual loss which might be given by the second party to the grievance party, and that might solve the problem, or by what date these problems might be solved. So all this information, whatever he felt, he gives in writing. And for hearing this particular thing, how much amount of money he is charging from those two parties, he is also writing that in that particular award. And the last is filing of award. So after the arbitrator writes his award in the stamp paper, it is examined whether it is accepted by both the parties or not. Once it is decided to accept the award, immediately action should be taken to have the award made a rule of the court. So actually what is happening is arbitrator is helping the parties to solve the problem in a faster manner, in a cheaper manner, right? So if I ask you that what are the advantages of arbitration, I mean that Why will you not take a dispute to the court rather than try to get it solved by the arbitrator, and then just in the court you refer to this case of arbitration and then get the verdict if required from the court also. कोर्ट ऑर्डर निकालना है, you are just citing this arbitration case in the court within a particular validity period, and then court is not looking into anything. Court is just not even listening to you, any party. He's just saying, okay, an arbitration was done and an award was filed in the court. So the court says, okay, this award can, whatever is now legally official, immediately get the action done. Okay. So can you tell me, any of you one by one can tell me, what do you feel that why? I have given small examples, say site में कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया during construction, और client comes and say कि मेरे balcony ना थोड़ा decorative करवा दीजिए, कुछ सामान लेके आइए, make it more painting, थोड़ा painting add कर दीजिए, नहीं, but the contractor से नहीं, मेरा contract में ये नहीं है, so I cannot do that, it will have extra charges and all, and client छोड़ नहीं रहा, नहीं आप ये नहीं कीजिएगा तो मैं आपका bill नहीं छोड़ने वाला हूँ. So the architect or any supervisor is appointed as an arbitrator. But why? Why are they not going to the court? Why are they getting
to quickly resolve the issue?
To quickly resolve this, okay. And anything else? Others?
Sir, expensive.
कौन सा expensive?
Like they may give charges to lawyers and all.
Okay. So here also they pay, so arbitration is less expensive. It is not expensive, it is less
sure.
expensive.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Comparatively.
Arbitration is also less legal also. I mean, if like you said, अगर वो गुस्से में बोल देता है और फिर वो arbitration में चला जाता है, so कोई legal action नहीं होगा, but एक
so less amount of legal formalities involved. ठीक है. So that actually leads to less time consuming. एक और चीज हो सकता है, अगर कोर्ट में चले गए, once you take it to a court and court पूरा सुनने के बाद gives a verdict, उसके बाद क्या होगा, you will never feel like making the person work. There will be a strained relation in between the parties. ठीक है, इसीलिए झट से काम करो. मतलब you cite an arbitrator जिनके verdict will not be hurting the sentiment of any one party. So if arbitration has a tendency to avoid this strained STRAINED, मतलब bad relation between the parties can be avoided. मतलब client के साथ contractor का अच्छा संबंध चल रहा था, they were working well, so अचानक कोर्ट कचहरी के पीछे भागते भागते मतलब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बोले नहीं, अब टर्मिनेट करवा दीजिए, मुझे जितना पैसा बाकी है दे दीजिए, मैं और आपके काम नहीं कर सकता हूँ. That can happen sometime. So to avoid those, arbitration is a simpler case. दोनों पार्टी मिलके किसी एक थर्ड पार्टी को चुन लिया, दैट पार्टी डिसाइड्स कि अरे थोड़ा बहुत हो गया, आप मीट माट कर लीजिए, आपस में सौदा कर लीजिए, या आप मतलब ठीक है अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रीवियस रेट और अकॉर्डिंग टू न्यू रेट, इफ यू साइन ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इसको ऐड करवा दीजिए, whatever सजेशन कम्स अप कैन बी टेकन. बट इसके बाद हाँ क्या, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बोलेगा हाँ ठीक है मैंने ही तो आर्बिट्रेटर को चुना था, इट इज ओनली मी हु हैव चोजन द सेम पर्सन. सो वो अगर बोल रहा है तो अच्छा ही कुछ बोल रहा होगा, let's consider that, and he will continue on working.
Yes, sir.
So in court cases, resolving dispute is first of all, court mein it is expensive, it is time consuming and leads to strained relation between the parties. Compared to this, arbitration proceedings are quicker, less expensive and preferably maintains cordial relation between the parties. These three are the major advantages. Okay, advantages of arbitration over court cases. ठीक है, इसके see, keep this handout with you. I will end the class right now, but what you can do is don't leave the group. You can stay in the group if you want a group discussion among yourself. I have in the NIT trees, I have given certain points, certain sections which you have to read. Not everything is important for you as an architect. और यहाँ पे देखो मतलब if you see that when I scanned one page, part of the next page was also scanned. Don't feel that it is half scanned, because the full page of that partial page, the full scan copy of that partial page is in the next page. मैं ऊपर में सारे पेज के ऊपर रेड पेन से पेज नंबर 1 2 3 4 मार्क करके रखा हो। सो 21.18 कहाँ है? 21.18, yeah. So here 21-18, this subsection 18 says power of court to appoint arbitrator or umpire. So here what might happen is, suppose you have taken a small dispute to a court, you avoid an arbitrator. So it may happen that the court assigns an arbitrator or an umpire to listen to both of you, because ये बहुत बार होता है कि you cannot afford a lawyer. So there the court asks कि भाई you don't have to hire lawyers, just appoint this particular person or one or two person as the arbitrator or the umpire. They will privately look into your matter. जो उनको चाहिए थोड़ा बहुत आपस में डिस्कस करके पैसा पे कर देना, but he should have a verdict which I will read out. The court says which I will read out later. ठीक है? And there are certain criteria कि कितने टाइमलाइन में ये अपॉइंटमेंट होना चाहिए. Like how, so power of the court, so the court can also impose an arbitrator in certain cases. So that is mentioned in here in this particular section 21-18. I want all of you to just read it as if like you are reading a very short story book. Just read it, don't have to understand it uniquely. Once we come for a discussion, it would be now easier for me to explain. Okay, here 21.21 in the screen, if you can follow, the advantages of arbitration over a court's decision. Here 5 advantages are given. The essence of arbitration is the expeditious disposal of dispute for finality and conclusiveness of the award that binds the parties except in exceptional cases. Well, here the tendency is to keep the two parties binded. They should be bound. It is less expensive in court action. Okay, whatever we have discussed, थोड़ा elaborate करके ही यहाँ पे बोला गया है. ठीक है? That's all for this particular chapter. An exceptional case is given in the last page, which is 21.24. Arbitration as an expeditious way of solving dispute. It is a critical case. It is an exceptional case because you do not have a reference of lot of things. In a court, you have lot of sections of IPC, lot of sections of penal codes and all, everything ready with you. You can just refer to those and take the action. The hearing may take lot of time, but the judgment comes clear soon. But sometimes in arbitration, hearing doesn't take that time, but the award or एक arbitration के बाद the parties are not happy, they again go for another arbitration. ऐसे करते करते ना, you know, there is a क्या कौन सा building है हमारे academic area के center में, that huge 13-story building. It has more than 20 arbitration pending cases for the last 2 to 3 years. So every time you have to go to Cuttack, where the High Court is, and take a reference that key an arbitration is taken to the court, and court is giving another delay. So we are getting more date and time, and then one or two faculties are involved, a lawyer is involved, so they are running behind because an arbitration happened कि अरे पैसा दे देंगे आप कर तो दीजिए 10% दे देंगे, अब 10% दे दिया लेकिन उनका तो पूरा पैसा खर्चा हो गया. वी हैव नॉट पेड द टैक्स ओवर द 10% चार्ज. तो ये 10% की इंटरेस्ट मांग रहा है कि आपने वो 10% के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिए तो हमारे अपने जेब से इनकम टैक्स भरना पड़ रहा है या सर्विस चार्ज भरना पड़ रहा है. सो दैट इज एन आर्बिट्रेशन. छोटा सा इशू हो गया. अब हम लोग we cannot prove it because we have not got that in the bill, so we thought of putting in an arbitrator. Okay, नहीं हुआ तो court has appointed an arbitrator. In specifically it is a joint arbitrator, one from the Shapoorji and Pallonji's authority and one from the NIT Rourkella's party. So there both of them discuss in Cuttack, comes up with something good or bad for either parties. चल रहा है. So sometimes it can be an expeditious way of solving dispute because there is no hard and fast steps or stages or path to follow. Okay, so once you go you take this time, how much time you have? You have hardly 10 minutes time. Just go through this chapter. Okay, that should be for today. Just go through this. I will leave the group and then tomorrow after your lunch we will start with this particular chapter. Once you understand this particular thing, then it would be very 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 easier for you to understand कि रास्ते में दो लोग झगड़ा कर रहे हैं, अब झगड़े का हल नहीं निकल रहा है, सो विल बोथ द पार्टीज गो एंड अपॉइंट अनदर थर्ड पार्टी. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है बाजू में से जो चल के जा रहा था, पेडेस्ट्रियन कम्स एंड ट्राई टू रिजॉल्व दैट. सो दैट इज कॉन्सिलिएशन. सो कॉन्सिलिएशन के एडवांटेजेस क्या है आराम से हम लोग समझ जाएंगे. वंस यू रीड, जस्ट रीड इट, ओके, जस्ट go through this particular handout once. I'm sorry that I have supplied it late, but you go through all the sections in the nitres, in the body of the message, the mail ke body mein I have written the sections and the headings what you actually have to read. Okay, just have a look at that. Okay,
एक्सक्यूज मी सर.
yes please.
सर जैसे कि एक लार्ज स्केल प्रोजेक्ट है जैसे कि हमारा एनआईटी वाला, तो मतलब अगर एक आर्बिट्रेशन हो गया तो क्या पूरा काम उधर ही रुक जाता है कि मतलब जो इशू है वो काम नहीं हो रहा है और कुछ काम चलता रहता है, ऐसा कुछ है?
For individual aspects, see, whenever a dispute arises, you try to solve it by an arbitration. If it is solvable by an arbitration, you try to solve it. उसके लिए बाकी काम रोकने का जरूरत ही नहीं है.
ओके.
Your thought is coming to your mind because I said an arbitration जहाँ पे पैसा related, पैसा पेमेंट नहीं हो रहा तो काम कैसे होता. But it may not always lead to money.
Yes.
It may lead to just simple instruction of an architect which the contractor has not understood. Architect has given an instruction कि आपको ये ऐसे करना है. It is a hollow column, it is a circular hollow column, and contractor बोल रहा है नहीं मैं तो इसको भर के दूंगा, मुझे hollow column बनाना नहीं आता है. और he will say I will have a rectangular column and then plaster करके उसको circular बना दूंगा. So there is a dispute. So what you do is you go for a structural engineer. So structural engineer listens to both the parties and then explains that hollow column के through तुम्हारा HVAC duct जाएगा. So you have to keep it hollow. You cannot fill it up like a rectangle. तो इसमें कोई पैसे वैसे का खर्चा नहीं है. Still it is an arbitration, but both the parties agreed to that. अब मान लो आर्किटेक्ट और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर साइट में झगड़ रहा था. क्लाइंट को अच्छा नहीं लगा. क्लाइंट आके बोला नहीं नहीं ठीक है ऐसे करते, मैं आप दोनों के बात सुन के देखता हूँ क्या किया जा सकता है. एंड देन ही प्राइवेटली कंसल्ट विद एनी एजेंट और एनी कंसल्टेंट एंड ही गिव्स द वर्डिक्ट. सो ही व्हाट ही हैज डन इज इन कॉन्सिलिएशन. Because we have not chosen that person. That third party came by himself.
Yes sir.
ठीक है. So देखो थोड़े दो हैंडआउट भेजा हूँ. दो हैंडआउट बहुत ब्रीफली the scan copy of the book में से just follow the text, the body of the message and there is one more handout. वो अभी नहीं तो बाद में कभी पढ़ लेना. आज 4:15 बजे 5:15 बजे के बाद भी पढ़ोगे तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. देख लो. where I have just taken up from lot of websites only. Wikipedia से लिया, Google से लिया, other जगह से लिया. एक culmination of everything. So you will be ready to start this subject, this chapter. बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा. इस हफ्ते के अंदर ये चैप्टर खत्म हो जाएगा. And then we will start into project management. ठीक है?
Yes sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you sir.